When I was first diagnosed, the first thought that came to mind was, where should I receive treatment? Would it be in Korea or in Singapore?
My initial plan was actually to go back to Singapore. I wanted to celebrate Hari Raya with my family. Unfortunately, that can't happen now.
Feel responsible for New Yorkers who don't know where to go for help in the middle of a pandemic like this.
As everyone I knew went back so quickly, was I being irresponsible by staying on?
In March 2020, countries across the world shut their borders to stop the spread of COVID-19. Singapore urges its citizens studying abroad to return. Some are unable to come home, and others are unwilling. These are their stories as they try to create a home away from home.
So I should cut like 9 maybe, you think?
6. I think even 3 is okay, bro.
Ready?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Connie, and I'm a Singaporean married to a Korean living in Seoul, Korea. Bye, hair. Bye, I'll see you 1 year later. Oh, I'm surprised I'm not crying. I thought I would cry, but wow. Yay, Connie, you did it. Oh, we finished. Good job, boy. Yay! Good job, good job. I have a 10-month-old son, and I discovered a tumor while breastfeeding him. My whole life was turned upside down, basically within a week.
Connie's son and her family were celebrating the Lunar New Year in Singapore when she discovered the lump in her breast.
Government agencies are on 24-hour alert as the number of confirmed cases in South Korea exceeds 5,000.
She returns to Seoul in March, just as COVID-19 hits South Korea.
I couldn't go to any hospitals as they didn't allow people who just came back to visit any hospitals in 2 weeks. If I had gone to the hospital slightly earlier, I wouldn't have been a stage 3, I might have been a stage 2. It was tough for me because my husband is a Korean and my son is still waiting for his citizenship approval. So I could only return to Singapore alone. We were not sure how long we would be apart. That's why I decided to stay in Korea.
Connie's timing couldn't have been worse, as South Korea quickly becomes the second most infected country in the world after China, with thousands in the hardest hit areas waiting to be admitted into hospitals.
I don't think I was really scared of contacting anything. I was actually afraid because I had to bring my son with me to the appointments as there was no one else to take care of him.
On 16th March, Singapore imposes a 14-day stay-home notice on all travelers arriving from South Korea, including its own citizens. Connie's mother lives in Singapore with her son and grandkids. On the Red Dot met up with her.
所以我觉得，哎呀，也是很辛苦。最好是可以回新加坡治疗，多多少少我们可以照顾到孩子，也可以给他弄一些好吃的东西给他补身体咯。但是现在这个非常的时期很难这样去做了，就是没有办法了，我也不懂怎样解决。
You know, it's funny, when my wife and I heard of COVID-19, we actually thought we were very lucky to be in London. Then, in the space of less than a week, everything changed.
Don Xiao took a decade to save up thousands of dollars to pursue his dream of a master's degree in digital journalism in London. But just 6 months into his course, the pandemic barreled towards London.
The United Kingdom is under police-enforced lockdown. People can only leave their homes to buy necessities, work, exercise, or seek medical care.
I thought, well, this is it. I made a run to Tesco to get a bunch of groceries. I kind of held off from panic buying. And that was when I realized that this is going to affect my studies, it's going to affect my life here.
On March 17th, Singapore urges all students studying abroad to return home immediately.
I felt a chill in my bones because I'd never seen anything like that come from the government, you know. My wife was with me here in London. We were really looking forward to spring and summer because we wanted to travel. And then when MFA's advisory was issued, my wife got a call from her mum saying, go back immediately.
Of the 41,000 Singaporeans staying in the UK, a majority rush home. But Don isn't ready to give up on his dream.
It took me so much to get here. That was the main thing that was kind of like the emotional block preventing me from running.
Sayang, Papa is coming back today. Come, go open the door. Papa, come back today. My husband just arrived this afternoon. He was on a business trip in Bahamas. He had to spend a 14-day quarantine at his parents'.
Ediana Jaffar's husband, Daniele, regularly travels abroad for business, leaving her and her 2-year-old son Zayan home alone in the historical town of Chiavari in northwest Italy. In springtime, this coastal town usually heaves with tourists. But in recent months, Chiavari has been deserted.
It's really scary, and then you're anxious and you just don't know what to do. Just hope that we don't get it.
Italy has overtaken China as the country with the highest number of coronavirus deaths. 430 people have died in the past 24 hours, taking the total to more than 3,400.
3 days later, Italy bans travel within the country as it becomes the new global epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic.
My main concern is traveling within Italy itself. You don't know whether that is safe, especially with my son. And it's really hard, but I need to try and remain positive for my son.
Wow. This looks like a lot.
I know. Just try eat as much as you can.
Connie has had her first chemotherapy session a month after being diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. The drugs have weakened her immune system, making her particularly vulnerable to infection.
What scares me the most, that if anything was to go downhill with my treatment, that I would not be able to meet my family members back in Singapore.
I'm preparing baby for going to the daycare center.
Bye. See you. Good night. Good night. See you tonight. Put on your mask.
Connie's endless cycle of chemotherapy, surgery, and radiotherapy will last 1 year. She and her husband are out of work, and money has become very tight.
My husband was picking up people from the airport and also giving day tours out of Seoul. Unfortunately, with coronavirus, tourists are not allowed in Korea anymore. I also lost my job because my clients didn't require English teacher anymore. And definitely that's going to affect a lot of things.
Today I will bring you to the place I used to bring tourists before the coronavirus. This is Myeongdong, the legendary tour place. Before coronavirus, when you visit here, like you couldn't see the floor at all. We are just passing Cheonggyecheon. Cheonggyecheon is the longest man-made canal. Usually there's a pack of people here. Almost nobody can come into their Korea. Nobody can visit Connie from Singapore. That is the worst thing about this coronavirus.
The United States has hit more than 10,000 deaths from the coronavirus. Undertakers are so overworked that a city official has raised the possibility of carrying out temporary burials in a public park.
It's very surreal for sure. I feel so sad for the families who are experiencing this loss. Like, you want to be able to send them off well. That's just been so hard.
Carol Tan is a financial strategist in New York, creating policies to reduce the economic impact of COVID-19 on American citizens. She's also the creator of No Neighbors in Need, a platform that allows people stuck in their homes like her to extend a helping hand to those in need.
I'm not a frontline worker, but I feel responsible for New Yorkers who don't know where to go for help in the middle of a pandemic like this. I started No Neighbors in Need on March 16 when things were worsening rapidly in New York City. A really exciting thing about it is that this resource for people in need and for ways for people to help was collated together with a lot of friends and colleagues from all across the city. I still feel strongly that I had a unique position to help as many people as much as I can.
And there you have it. Clap for carers on the street where I live in London. They need all the help they can get right now during this very, very unprecedented time.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been moved to intensive care after his COVID-19 symptoms worsened.
Just when you think things couldn't get worse, they do. You know, it really makes me wonder, how bad is this going to get before things start to get better?
It's been 3 weeks since Don's wife left the UK, and infections in the country have skyrocketed towards 60,000.
I am actually, as painful as it is, considering maybe deferring, or as the university calls it, interrupting my studies. I don't know if it would be online from Singapore or whether I come back to London.
When Don moved to the UK 7 months ago, he left behind his elderly parents. Both are self-isolating in Singapore as part of the circuit breaker.
He has taken 1 year no pay leave to go and study, you see, so everything will come to naught, if he decides to come. We miss him every day. The thing that I miss most is that we are not there for him.
On Easter Sunday, the UK's death toll crosses 10,000. But as the clouds part, besieged Londoners make the most of spring, including dawn.
The government is concerned that the good weather would draw a lot of people out of their homes, and it looks like it has. No one's wearing a mask. NHS frontline workers dying because there isn't enough personal protective equipment to go around. But here people are still flocking to public spaces when the weather is good.
Italy enters its 5th week of lockdown, and the holy month of Ramadan is just around the corner.
Dad.
Yes. This was taken 2 years ago during the Hari Raya celebrations.
You have the bazaars, and then we break fast together. It's that kind of environment that you miss during this period, the togetherness. So this year is like, it's a total cut off. It's really sad.
Hello. So Yin, how's the celebrations?
It was great. The most memorable safe distance celebration I have.
Me and my brothers, we were talking like, okay, maybe the first day of Raya, all of us will zoom in, and then we'll kind of like celebrate in that way.
In Singapore, Ediana's 70-year-old father, Jafar Hairi, is awaiting his daughter's return.
Kalau dah tak ada ni Covid-19, dah tak ada ni lockdown kan, alhamdulillah saya minta dia pulang lah kalau boleh dalam bulan puasa. Jadi kita dapat bersama, rasa gembira kan dengan adik-beradik dia, dengan saya, dengan mama dia lah. Balik sini.
Tak, sini masih tengah lockdown. Habis kalau sekarang kat sini pun dah ada, alhamdulillah.
Dah, mak kata mak nak pergi.
Datanglah.
South Korea's infection rates have stabilized without the need for a complete lockdown.
You'll be ready soon, baby.
But cancer patient Connie's son is taking no chances.
No time.
I have to stay at home as much as possible due to low immunity, and I have to ensure that people who come into my home do not have any sickness, illness, or have not returned from overseas within the past 14 days.
Do you want this?
This is my friend Deborah. She's also a church friend, and she's here to help us to babysit baby and also to help clean the house if baby is fine on his own.
You want this?
I had to basically reach out to friends. I told them the situation and that I really didn't know what to do. So it was my friends who basically came up with the idea of forming a support group for me.
When I go back to Singapore, the first thing I want to do is to spend time with my family members.
I'm now in hospital receiving my second chemotherapy treatment for cancer patients. During this COVID pandemic, it's most important to still not be overly fearful, to have a good immunity system. So by exercising at home and eating a balanced meal, being a positive mindset and an active lifestyle.
Italy shows signs of recovery as COVID-19 cases drop, but the country remains vigilant and lockdown is extended until the first week of May.
Today actually marks the date whereby some of the non-essential shops are to be opened. There are people walking around, but we still have the police going around to check that everyone is following the rules.
My decision to stay back is better than risking going back. I just really wish everyone in Singapore stays safe.
The epicenter of the virus has moved westwards towards the United States. The US is now the world's most infected country.
So it's pretty quiet. There's people walking around like us with masks on.
We chose to stay in New York City with our family's blessings, knowing that they were safe at home, and that helps to put our minds at ease. I worry about my family, particularly my mom, dad, and Ama.
There was one day when she sent a message to us, urging us to stay at home and taking it very seriously.
Yeah, because both our parents, they are really senior in their years and they will be a lot more vulnerable if anything happens.
Given the choice, of course we'd love to be back. But even if I could go back now with circuit breaker, I would not even be able to see them. My siblings, they're watching out for my parents and Ama. I really believe that that is the best that we can do at this point.
Now I'm just gonna take a quick ride along the South Bank. Welcome to the apocalypse.
Over in London, Don Xiao is ready to make a life-changing decision.
My wife, she's kind of been nudging me, kind of pressing me. Have you booked a flight yet? Have you shipped the stuff out yet? Did I make the right choice by staying in London? I didn't manage to finish everything I wanted to do. But I have learned a lot in these last few weeks of isolation, especially how to take care of my mental health and what my priorities should be. For now, I just want to go back and be with my family and give them the peace of mind that they've been looking for. COVID-19 changed everything, but maybe not all of it is bad.